Since its release at South by Southwest, Abigail has been getting amazing reviews. Everybody seems to be really high on this movie. I just watched it today and I'm going to tell you whether I think it lives up to it and it actually is that good, or if it's a bit overhyped. Let's talk about it. Yeah! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Cinema Sermons. My name is Kevin. Please go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button before we hop into the review. It helps out the channel tremendously. Also, please be sure to tune into the live streams. I do those about once a month right now, and that's where we talk about channel updates, movie news. It's a little more relaxed. We just have conversations, and if you missed the sermon part of Cinema Sermons, that's where I go ahead and take a plot, theme, or character from a movie and use it to help illustrate a biblical point. And I do that in the live streams because it's just a little more organic and I'm not preaching at you because I'm in no position to preach to anybody, man. So go ahead and check out the live streams. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and review Abigail. And right off the bat, I gotta say, this movie was a lot of fun. Radio Silence, the film studio that put this out, has done it again. They did Scream 5 and 6. As well as Ready or Not. I enjoyed all those movies. Scream 5 is the one that I definitely enjoyed the least. But I really enjoyed all those movies and they deliver once again. However, the movie's not perfect. So jumping into my positives, this movie was just a lot of fun. The tone of the film is great. When you have a vampire movie, you kind of have two ways that they usually tend to go. It's usually either very, traditional horror trying to scare you, or a little bit more fun in the vein of Fright Night and things like that. Those are the vampire movies I enjoy, unless we're talking about Blade, and then I love those movies. Anyway, and this movie definitely carries that kind of feel to it. I thought the ensemble cast was great. Everybody in this movie did a phenomenal job, and you have people like Kevin Duran was hilarious in this film. Melissa Barrera and Kathryn Newton are cementing themselves as horror scream queens lately, and they were both fantastic in this movie. Kathryn Newton's just great in anything she does, man. She really just brings a charm and charisma to the scene and the screen. That's just a lot of fun to watch.
Kill a vampire. What are we talking about? Like an Anne Rice or a True Blood? Twilight?
The movie is very well written. It's very funny. It is charismatic. And it just does a good job of keeping that tone very light. So the acting, the writing, it was really well done. The gore is pretty over the top. If you're someone who doesn't like gore, then you're not gonna really enjoy this. But if you're someone who does, like Cody Leach says and Randy Meeks, carnage candy, you're gonna love this movie because there's a bunch of it. And of course, the vampire antics. Like I said, I enjoy vampire movies. This one does everything that you expect it to do. I thought Abigail was a really good villain. The way that they bring it all together, I thought really worked. But as I said, this movie is not perfect. So jumping into the negatives. First off, the fact that they gave away the twist in the trailer kind of sucks because the movie builds it up as you don't know what's gonna happen and then she ends up being a vampire. But at the same time, I think we had to know what the movie was about to go see it. So a lot of people are considering that a spoiler. And I'm like, you had to know that it was gonna be a vampire movie. However, the trailers gave away too much. So that was definitely a negative for me. A lot of the characters just do the dumbest things you can think of. I can't believe how many times they split up in this movie. And I'm like, why would you keep doing that? Why? And I get it, so it's the plot can move forward and the movie can happen, but as an audience member, you're just like, dude, why would you possibly do that? And much like Scream 5 and Scream 6, people get injured in this movie and it hurts them a little bit, and then they just recover like everything's fine. And I'm like, no, if that happens to you, you're out, you're done for the rest of the day. You're not walking again. That's not happening. And they definitely did that in Scream 5 and 6 and even a little bit in Ready or Not. And it happens in this movie. It's not enough to take you out of the movie. It's still a lot of fun and very enjoyable, but that is a negative. And my final negative is that it is just a little bit predictable. You kind of know exactly how it's gonna go. If you've watched any horror movie at all, you know where it's building toward and what's gonna happen. It doesn't take away from how enjoyable the movie is. That is just a gripe. It's not breaking any new ground. It's not a, reinventing the wheel or doing something like, the Lost Boys did where it completely shifts the vampire genre. It's something we've seen before. So if you've seen these movies, you can probably tell exactly where this movie's gonna go. But that's really not enough to really take this movie and make it a bad film. But I would say that if those are your negatives, you're doing a pretty good job. Before I give you my final rating, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Again, it helps out the channel tremendously. All right. So as I said, I really enjoyed this movie. It was a lot of fun. It was exactly what I needed. I just wanted to go to the movies and have a good time. So you have to know what kind of audience member you are. If you like vampire movies that are a little more funny and comedic, like something like Fright Night or something like that, then you're gonna enjoy this movie. If you like them very stoic and serious, scary vampire like Bram Stoker's Dracula, this movie's not really gonna be for you. Or if you don't like vampire movies at all, definitely not gonna be for you. And especially if you don't like gore, because it takes a little bit to get going, but once it does, man, it's like ready or not. But for my final rating, I'm gonna go ahead and give Abigail an 8 out of 10. This movie was a lot of fun. It was really enjoyable. It was just a good time at the movies. It is absolutely something I can see myself rewatching. But you gotta know what kind of audience member you are and what you like to see in a vampire movie. But my friends, that is all I have for today. Please let me know down in the comments, what did you think of Abigail if you have seen it? And if you haven't seen it yet, are you going to see it? That's pretty much all I got, man. So yeah, go watch Abigail. It's a good time. All right, guys, remember, I love you. Jesus loves you. That's our story, and we're sticking to it. See you guys.